Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we will start our next chapter, Transformer. So first of all, let's look at the learning objectives of this chapter. So the first objective is to explain types and construction of transformers, illustrate the ideal transformer, then extrapolate the basics of single phase transformer, then determine physical principle of single phase transformers, EMF equation, ability to paraphrase the construction details of single phase transformers, able to differentiate the types of single phase transformers and compute equivalent resistance and reactance, conduct the open circuit and short circuit test in single phase transformer, understand the three phase transformers, understand auto transformers, categorize polyphase connections of transformers. So the first power distribution system was developed in the United system was a 120 volt DC system, and that was invented by Thomas A. Edison, and it was used to supply power for the incandescent light bulbs. Then the Edison first central power station went into operation in New York City in September 1882. But there was a problem with this DC transmission that the power system generated and transmitted power at such low voltages that very large currents were necessary to supply significant amounts of power. So obviously, we know that if we have the large current, the conductor should be very thick. So the large currents actually produces the huge voltage drops and the power losses, which are the I square losses in the transmission lines. So it would be not be possible. It was not possible to transmit over a long distance. So in 1880s, central power stations were located every few city blocks to overcome this problem. So the fact that power could not be transmitted far with low DC voltage, DC power systems meant that generating stations had to be small and localized, and so were relatively inefficient. But if we look into the today's scenario, the long distance transmission lines are normally built as a DC transmission lines, and that's just because of the development of power electronics. But usually we can see these transmission lines in US or Canada, like these big countries which are geographically big countries. So they can have because the DC transmission lines, they are beneficial if we transmit over 2000, minimum of 2000 kilometers. So the invention of transformer at that time and the concurrent development of AC power sources eliminated forever these restrictions on the range and power level of power systems. So most of the countries, they are mostly using this AC transmission system. So a transformer ideally changes one AC voltage level to another voltage level without affecting the actual power supplied. So if a transformer steps up voltage level of a circuit, it must decrease the current to keep the power into the device equal to the power out of it. So the power should remain the same, input power and the output power, because transformer has no device, has nothing to do with the power development. It just increases or decreases the voltage level, but the power remains the same. Therefore, an electric power can be generated at one central location, its voltage stepped up for transmission over long distances at very low losses, and its voltage is stepped down again for final use. Since the transmission losses in the lines of a power system are proportional to square of the current in the lines, raising the transmission voltage and reducing the resulting transmission currents by a factor of 10 with transformer reduces power transmission losses by a factor of 100, because we know that they are I square R losses. So I square R losses will be reduced tremendously. Now let's define the transformer. So a transformer is a device that changes AC electric power at one frequency and voltage to AC electric power at the same frequency and another voltage level through the action of magnetic field. Now we have studied this basic principle of induction, how this magnetic field is used to induce voltage in the one coil to the other coil. That's the main principle is that we must have a time changing magnetic field. So transformers normally consist of two or more coils of wire wrapped around a common ferromagnetic core. These coils are usually not directly connected. Obviously, they are magnetically connected and there is no physical connection between these coils. The only connection between the coils is the common magnetic flux present within the core, and one of the winding is connected to a source of electric AC electric power, and the second and perhaps third maybe winding supplies electric power to loads. The transformer The transformer winding connected to the power source is called the primary winding or input winding. So most of the time we use the terminology primary winding is a winding where we have the input AC source, and the winding connected to the loads is called the secondary winding or the output winding. Similarly, we use the terminology secondary winding where we have connected our load. If there is a third winding on the transformer, it is called the tertiary winding. Transformers and daily life. Without the transformer, it would simply not be possible to use electric power in many of the ways it is used today. In a modern power system, electric power is generated at voltages of 12 to 25 kilovolt, and transformers step up the voltage between 110 kV and nearly 1000 kV for transmission over long distances at very low losses. And we know that low losses are because we have reduced the current in the conductors. Transformers then step up the voltage from 12 to 34.5 kilovolt range for local distribution and finally permit the power to be used safely in homes, offices and factories at voltages as low as 120 volt or 220 volt. Now, types and constructions of a transformer. So, power transformers are constructed on one type of two types of cores. On one of the two types of cores, one is known as the core type of construction, consists of a simple rectangular laminated pieces of steel with the transformer windings wrapped around two sides of the rectangle. So here we can see that we have this primary winding that could be on the single leg of this core, or it could be like this one, and we have the secondary which is wounded separately on the same legs, or we can be on the different legs. So this type of core is known as the core type. The other one is used known as the shell type, consists of a three-legged laminated core with the windings wrapped around the center leg. Here we can see that this one is our primary winding or input winding, and here it is our secondary winding or the output winding. This is just another way how it is constructed through shell type L laminations and core type L laminations. EIL laminations, they are called EEL laminations, these are called LL laminations, UI laminations, and these are then put together to form this core of this uh, transformer. So here we can see that in the core type, sometimes we use the low voltage, high voltage windings here, and similarly here shell type, here we have the low voltage insulation, low voltage winding, high voltage insulation, high voltage winding, and all these things we can see here. Low voltage insulation, blue one is the low voltage winding, and then this is again the golden color is high voltage insulation, and then this around orange high voltage winding. So here is another view of this core type and shell type transformers. So this is the power system, an overview. So here we can say that this is power station where power is generated. We have this generation plant. Power is transmitted through power transformers at high voltages, and then it comes to the substation transformers. Then it goes to the distribution transformers where it is then distributed to the these small transformers in the homes and offices and factories, etc., all the way. So based on their functions, we normally name these transformers, although they are all power transformers, but we just name them according to where they are used. So at the power station where we need to step up the voltages, we call it as the unit transformer. Then we have the transmission substation, so or we call it as the substation transformer. Obviously it's a step down transformer. Again we have another step down transformer which are called the distribution transformers. So these are basically the same transformers. There is no difference in construction, basic construction of these, but basically their use and their place just make them important, and we have just named them just like unit transformer, substation transformer, distribution transformer according to their place in the power system. So there is some side question that arise why we use the terminology power transformer, because we have other kinds of transformers which are used in the communication. So we will not be discussing those right now, so that you might see them in your communication course. So these are just how these transformers are. A transformer connected to the output of a generator and used to steps its voltage up to transmission levels of 110 plus kV is sometimes called unit transformer. Similarly, substation transformer at the other end of the transmission line, which steps the voltage down from the transmission levels to distribution levels from 2.3 to 34.5 kilovolt. And then we have the distribution transformer where we distribute the power to the final users, to the end users. So we use these distribution transformers. So where we can convert step down the voltages to 110, 208 or 220 volt, etc., depending upon the country in which we are residing. So there are some special transformers known as the potential transformer and the current transformers. So they are actually also called the instrumentation transformers, and their use are sometimes where the potential transformers are such that their input is a high voltage and the output is a proportional low voltage and such that their current is very small, such that the current passing through this transformer is very small. Similarly, the current transformers designed to provide a secondary current much smaller than but directly proportional to its primary current. This device is called a current transformer. So in this video we will stop here. I hope you will understand what I have told you. If you want to ask anything, feel free to ask me the questions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.